Really, I want to go ahead and kick everything off. My name is Stephen Lewis. I am a real estate professional with Ink Realty, a partner of Ink Realty as well. I have the pleasure of speaking directly with Lauren Logan, who is here to talk about educating real estate. Again, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about educating real estate. Matter of fact, you're a real estate professional with Ink Realty as well.
Yes.
You just achieved the 2020 Rookie of the Year. So that is awesome. You obviously have to be doing something right.
I'm trying.
Right? You trying?
I'm trying.
Yes.
Trying to get like you.
Listen, I have a lot to learn. I'm learning. Hey, when I'm with you on any appointments, I'm learning. So I think the people want to know, who is Lauren Logan? Who is Lauren Logan? I really want to know.
Well, thank you for having me here, Steve. I'm really excited to share my perspective, and for all the people that are jumping on, thank you so much for your support. This has really been a great 2020, and I'm definitely looking forward to 2021. As Steve mentioned, I won Rookie of the Year, and very humbled and very excited about that award. But when I think about who I am, number one, I'm a believer. That's what I like to say first and foremost. Jesus died on the cross for my sins. Love him. He is my everything. None of this could be possible without him. So number one, I'm a believer. Number two, I'm a wife. So I've been married to Randall Logan, who's on the call, for 5 years, going on 6 this year. But we've known each other for about 10, it'll be 11 years this year that we've known each other. So I love being married. I love being a wife. And that's another way to describe me, I guess you could say. I'm also a mother, have 2 wonderful kids, a 3-year-old son, Deuce, Randall Logan II, and then Skylar, who is 1 year old, definitely spicy. She is a feisty little girl. And my son, he is definitely super smart and intelligent. I just love being a mother. I'm also a daughter, and I'm a sister. I am a soror. I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Okay.
Yes. And I know you are a member of Omega Psi Phi. So we have that Coleman love. I am also a CPG professional. So for those of you that don't know, I also do marketing and sales as another business. So I do real estate and marketing and sales for another company. So I also like to describe myself as a consumer packaged goods professional. And then obviously I'm a real estate professional. So I like to name those as the adjective to describe me and say who I am.
That's a lot to unpack there. Obviously, you have a wealth of knowledge in the industry. And so we're going to unpack a little bit about, what experience that you gained to really get yourself prepared for this industry. And obviously what you've done last year, like I mentioned, is remarkable. So let's talk about this. So why did you decide to become a real estate professional?
Why did I decide to become a real estate professional? Number one, I think the biggest thing that helped me with that decision was I had a great process with my own home building experience. So when me and my husband built our home back in 2016, I believe, we had a wonderful experience. The realtor that I had, she was amazing. She was also like a mentor to me. I just felt like the process of home ownership and buying my own home was just an incredible feeling. And I've always wanted to do that. And I had a good experience. I will also say, talking to a couple of friends that have been in real estate before me, and they've told me their success stories and told me of how they've been able to make some good money in real estate and take advantage of being homeowners themselves, really pushed me into wanting to get into real estate myself. And then also on the flip side, I had a not so good experience when I bought my first home. I bought my first home when I was 22, and I didn't have a really good experience. So I always thought, well, if I were to get in real estate, I would definitely want to be the opposite of that experience that I had with that realtor. So
that's good. So obviously, as a real estate professional, you just can't walk into real estate and expecting to be successful, right?
Right.
There's a lot of knowledge, and there's a lot of people, I'm sure, even on this live here, that that want to make sure they're working with someone they know and they trust. Because let's be for real. Sometimes if we're in a referring business and some of our friends refer as clients, we may not we may not know them, but however, we can gain their trust in the process, and they will feel like, hey, this person is the right fit, to help me in my situation. So I look at real estate as you got to be passionate about it, and you have to learn a lot every day. I wake up, I open up a real estate magazine or just an article, and I read it to prepare my mind about what this industry, look like. So what information are you looking at, or are you, sort of getting an understanding on that will help you prepare to really start to work with clients and, gaining just a market perspective? Do you have any books or any other information to share like that?
Well, I do look at the realtor magazines that we get in the mail, and I always view those, and I try to look at market data. So I try to stay on top of what's happening because, as you know, the market is hot right now, especially here in Texas. And so it's always important to stay abreast of the trends because everything can shift so quickly. And so you have to be adaptable to change. And I think making sure that I'm talking with my friends, talking with other professionals, and trying to get their perspective on how they think the market is doing and how to best approach it is very helpful when it comes to my own business and how I talk to my clients or give them pointers and tips on what they need to be doing, especially if they're looking to buy right now or sell right now. It's always about gaining more knowledge. And that is, for me, it's networking. It's listening to different podcasts about real estate. So there's a plethora of things that I like to do in order to stay privy to the market trends and what's going on to be the best.
Yeah, you told me about the app that you added on your phone to help, so I guess get in this chat room or something like that, whatever that looks like.
So that was it's the Clubhouse app.
Clubhouse, yeah.
Yes. So for those of you that don't know, I'm sure a lot of people know about the Clubhouse app, but it's a very good app. So you hop on there and you have other real estate professionals. So the groups that I'm involved in are geared towards real estate conversations, whether that's buying, selling, flipping, investing, wholesaling. They have a plethora of different discussion rooms. And so a lot of those people that are in those discussion rooms that are speaking on the stage are professionals that have been in the market or in the field rather for 20 years, 15 years. So they have a wealth of knowledge to share, and they talk about how they first got started and where they are right now.
That's good. That's good. Like the questions that we get oftentimes as professional is, hey, how's the real estate market? I mean, because of what has transpired in the pandemic, like how often should people ask that question? Like, how is the real estate market? Because it's an ever-changing industry, again, especially because of this pandemic and what has happened to the market with interest rates and everything like that. How often should people be asking that question to a professional?
All the time. All the time. I think whenever they are ready to purchase a home or sell a home or, purchase an investment property, you need to be asking, what's the market doing, and doing your own research too. I think is important if you are taking those steps to, if you're interested in buying or selling. I think it's important to know what you're getting yourself into and know the market before you jump in there. So you can always ask a real estate professional. You can ask me, how is the market? Is now the right time to buy, to sell? What are the interest rates looking like? Because I not only speak to real estate professionals, I'm also speaking with lenders who are the ones that are going to provide this financing for a lot of my clients, and they know what's going on with the interest rates. So I would say anytime you want to know, ask. It changes so quickly. And with right now, it's been pretty steady because of the pandemic, with interest rates being at an all-time low, that's been pretty consistent. But anything could change in a moment's time. So I would say definitely ask whenever you can.
That's good. That's good. So because of that, what drives your passion for real estate? Now you're educating people in real estate. So what drives your passion for that?
I think the biggest thing is making home ownership a reality for folks who didn't think they could. For anybody who wants to own a home, I think it just brings me joy because I know that feeling that I felt when I first bought my first home, or when I move into a new home or another home. Like, it's such a sense of accomplishment and joy, and I like seeing that on other people's faces. So I want everybody to be able to experience home ownership and know that it can be a reality for them. And I just think that it's so powerful to be a person of color, just to own my own, you know what I mean? So I want that for anybody and everybody. And so that was really the number one reason why I'm so passionate about it. And then because they're not making any more land. So you need to purchase it, invest in it while you can, because then we're not going to get any more. So I want to be a part of that group that owns some of this land that's out here.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's situation is different at their own time, right?
Hmm.
So you have to be, prepared to how to handle and navigate people's situation, um, which is huge. Everyone has a different timeline and a different perspective on, what their situation, what their profile look like. So as you gear to better understand each of your clients, but let's not rush it. You are Lauren Logan, the expert real estate professional. So what experience do you think you've gained to help prepare you for that expert in real estate?
Well, I would say number one would be my personal experience. So, personal experience with going through the home buying process, personal experience with going through the home building process.
Yeah.
Um, and then I've had both experience. I've had a not so good experience back in my younger days, and then I've had an amazing experience the latter half of my years. And so, since I've had both sides of the spectrum when it comes to having a good experience in real estate and not having a not so good, I think it helped develop me because I know what I don't want to do when it comes to clients, and I know what I think is the right thing to do. And so I want to make sure that I'm the best realtor, real estate agent for any of my clients as
Yeah.
possible.
So actually, when we talk about experience, what actually happened, where you say, what, I have to, instead of be part of that problem, in that situation, I want to be, an effective change of the problem,
Yeah.
so what shifted, what actually happened? Can you share that, please?
So when I bought my first home, this was in Chicago when I was 22. I didn't know anything about the market. I didn't know anything about purchasing a house. I just knew that I wanted to buy a house. I had the funds at the time to buy it, and I wanted to be a homeowner at that age. And so the realtor that I actually got from the lender that I used, and this lender suggested this realtor. What I didn't appreciate about this realtor was that she was very impatient. I thought because I was young and because I was Black, she just didn't have the patience, and she didn't really teach me or give me the knowledge of the process when I was in the midst of buying. And so I felt like I settled on a house. I felt like the houses that she took me to weren't really what I wanted. And then, she was really rushing me. Like, if I was interested in a house, we would go to the house and I would say, I like that house. Can we go back to it? And she'd be like, well, I thought you didn't like that one. Why are we going to go back to it? And that really kind of put a damper on my experience. I still ended up with a nice house, but I don't think it was the one that I really wanted at that point in time in my life. And so from that point on, when I decided to get in real estate, I said I was never going to do that to a client of mine. I was going to be patient. I was going to make sure they were satisfied, happy, and not just settling for any house. And I was going to make sure that they were knowledgeable about the entire experience and explain to them, be very communicative when I'm talking about the process so they have a full understanding of what's going on.
Yeah, so like real estate sales, it's $1 trillion industry, right? And so from real estate earnings, it's $1 billion industry. So you have people that come into real estate with a different mindset and want to be self-centered and all about, them getting paid. And, they just want to hey, listen, let me just steer you in another direction. So we can go ahead and get this money so I can, be done with you. Like, you do have to have patience. So when you mention patience, that triggers something in my mind that say, you know what, real estate is all about, patience and having that personal relationship. And someone mentioned here is about empathy for your clients. Ashley did. So, you really have to have all those intangibles, because it can be self-centered when you in it for the wrong reason.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, man, that is very interesting. So let's talk about what advice do you have for a first time home buyer, or just buyers in general? What advice do you have for them?
Um, Advice for first time home buyers. Number one, I would say having control of your finances.
Well, hold on. Let me say this.
Yeah.
Like, if you haven't bought a house in a few years, right,
Okay.
then even though you own a home, you still may be unfamiliar with how to navigate another purchase. So when I think about first time home, I think about, oh well, there's certain people that want to buy again, but still are unfamiliar because the agent never educated them to prepare them for the next sale. So I'm sorry, I just had to get that out.
Oh no, yeah, that's good. Yeah, I mean, first thing they can do is reach out to me.
There you go. Reach out to Lauren, 100%.
I know, but seriously, um, educating themselves. Well, there are so many different resources that are available right now. You got first time home buyers programs that you can find. You have networking with different folks that that are within your sphere that own a home or recently purchased a home. You can definitely get information about how to go about purchasing another home or purchasing your first home that way. Speaking to your bank, any lender that you have, they can help you with that process. Just reading up on what's going on. Um, any type of data that's out there, any type of articles about home buying. There's a plethora of knowledge that is out here in the world. It's typing in Google, how do I start the process of buying a home? There are multiple ways that we can get you started on for a first time home buyer or someone who, kind of forgot the process on what it's like to buy a home, but are wanting to buy another home.
Right. And that person that's owning the home that just got through, purchasing it, one day they may decide that they want to sell. So now you're looking at that client as a seller, and now it's like, okay, what advice can do you have for people that are wanting to sell? And this can be, someone that knows that has a family member that they may look to sell down the line, or there may be a real estate in the household, a real estate property in the household that they know that they may, eventually sell due to, unforeseen circumstances that they got to get rid of. So how would you unpack that?
I think the biggest thing for me to tell a client that's possibly going to list a home or sell their home is for them to understand and know that selling a home is an investment. I think that's one thing that needs to be communicated. So you know that it's an investment when you sell your home. So you're putting in work to make sure you're reaping the benefits of getting your ROI on your home. So it does take work to sell a home. And it can be a very rewarding experience, especially when you get those proceeds that come in after you sell your home. But it definitely is an investment to sell your home. That would be the biggest thing that I would let my clients know who are looking to sell or to list their home. And that it does take work, but it's definitely worth it, especially if you want to get top-notch dollar for
Yeah.
your home. You have to invest in making it look good, fixing it up the way it needs to be fixed up, all of that jazz.
So yeah, we can't just brush over, repairs, in a home, just, like we look at from an apartment perspective. Obviously, there's someone there, and that's really what sometimes overwhelms people about buying a property. They have to fix it up themselves and put all this time and money into it, which sometimes over a lifetime you may end up spending, I don't know, upwards of maybe 5,000 into your property if you may have owned it, for about 5 to 7 years. And that's just maintenance and improvement. But that 5,000 can turn into,
That's
$50,000.
it right there. Yes.
Right,
Yes.
right. So it's just a little bit of dollars you put into it in order for a big financial gain.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times I've had some clients in the past where, you become so attached to your home And it's hard to, when you're preparing your home to sell it, to make sure that you have to detach the emotions that comes along with that home, because you're preparing it for someone else. Someone else is going to come in there and put their look, personalize it the way they want it. And it's hard, but you have to put in the time, the effort, and really detach yourself from the home, because this is going to be someone else's home soon. So you want to make sure that you take the emotion out of it, get it prepared, and so that someone else will love it and think of it as their home and not your home.
Absolutely. So the way I look at it is, if you love your home while you in it, that your home is going to love you back financially.
Yes.
So that's the way I look at it. It's like I can't neglect taking care of my baby, which is the house.
Right.
Because if I do that, she gonna not like me. You know what I mean? She gonna be like, oh, that's how you feel?
Right.
I'm just gonna let these things fall apart, and now it becomes a bigger issue. And then I'm not solving nobody's problem. I'm actually losing money rather than gaining it in the process.
And that's what you don't want. So yes.
Absolutely. So as we do that, can you tell us about a recent transaction that you've been a part of that where you guys overcame an obstacle in that process?
Yeah. So I would say this was last year. I had clients who were coming from out of state, and they were looking to purchase a home here in Texas. The house that they were putting bids on, well, in the beginning, they were losing their bids. So that was the one obstacle. So they kept putting in offers and they kept losing their bids that they were putting in, because as we talked about earlier, Texas right now is hot. So multiple offers is a thing, and it's pretty consistent. We have homes that are selling within 1 or 2 days that they're on the market and having like 10 plus offers on these homes. So the clients that I had, they were putting in multiple offers. They kept getting outbid. We finally came upon an offer that they won, and we went in. They ended up going like 7,000 over the asking price.
Wow. Okay.
And so they put in the offer. Everything was good. Then the appraisal came back. The appraisal came back, and it showed that the house was appraised at 20,000 less than what the listing price was. 20,000 less.
Wow. It's huge.
It very much so. So, my clients are fine because they're like, yeah, we can get the house for cheaper, but, me talking to the listing agent, her clients were pretty perturbed. They're pretty upset about that whole situation. And so it was a lot of back and forth, because my client, the listing agent's clients needed to get these proceeds so that they could move to their next house. So they couldn't make any moves because they didn't have the money. So they needed the money from the proceeds so that they could move to their new home. And so we were really stuck between a rock and a hard place. It was a very difficult decision. And eventually the sellers had to come down on the price. But in the beginning, they were not willing to do that. They didn't want to. They wanted my clients to put up forth that extra $20,000 or put up that $20,000.
Wow.
And they
didn't. So they agreed to reduce the sales price down $20,000.
They had to, because they applied, or they appealed the appraisal. So they went through the appeal process and had another appraiser go out there, and it was still 20,000 too much.
Yeah.
So they had to come down on the price.
So for the people out there, like, this is good. So we're talking about a home. What was the purchase price of that house?
Oh,
the guys made an offer. So let's just say this. So the offer is $320,000, right? And so what Lauren is saying is the appraised value on that home came in at $300,000.
Yeah.
Now the lender will not allow you to buy a home more than what the house. They will only lend you either what the house has appraised for, or the purchase price, whichever one is lesser.
Yes.
So the lesser of the appraised value or the purchase price is what the lender is going to give you. So when you talk about $20,000, you have to figure out who's going to pay for that. The buyer is not. Hey, what'd you say? The buyer, they were not trying to come up with an extra $20,000. So it's like they're paying over $20,000 of that house, right? They won't get $20,000 back in probably maybe a year and a half, maybe. maybe a year and a half. So they're overpaying right now for equity to catch up in a year and a half.
Right.
So not everyone, though, let's talk about, not everyone will agree to a $20,000 reduction of the purchase price. They will let the house go back on the market to get another valuation of the house because they think that it's wrong, that appraiser did a bad job. Is that right?
Yes. And so they'll try to appeal it. So they'll try to go through the appeal process with the appraiser, or try to get someone else to come in, maybe a different buyer with a different appraiser. They'll send in different comps. So when the appraiser comes out, he has a list of comparable properties. And so if the listing agent and the sellers aren't happy with the comps that are used, they can try to supply their own comparable properties to show that it's worth the amount of money that they listed it for.
So this is good. So we got a hotline right now. We got people throwing out some questions, and so on this topic, without going to the next one, a question was mentioned by Lori Kelly. She said, when you sell a home, don't you typically get it appraised first or no? So you and I, we've been in situations where you listing a home for sale. Have you seen a seller get an appraised value, an independent appraised value on a home before it was listed on the market? Have you seen that, Lauren?
I have not seen that personally. I don't know that it would matter because the buyer is going to get their own appraisal with the lender that they're using. So I don't think that it would matter if the seller decided to get their own appraisal, because they're not the ones that are lending the money to the buyer. It's going to be the buyer's lender who's going to be lending the money or financing the money.
Right. And, and so with that being said, it's an independent appraisal. And I think if you put 5 appraisals on one house, you're going to get 5 different numbers.
Yeah.
Because it's an opinionated value. I haven't seen it where an appraisal, was done before the home was listed. Obviously we're leaving up to the real estate professionals to do their comparative market analysis, which is what you'll be hiring Lauren for, to make sure that she positions your home to sell for top dollar without having it, go slightly under. And if there is a bad appraiser that came on the property, let's just hopefully that number is not a large gap, but a manageable one where the seller has a built-in cushion. What if it did come at, let's say, $5,000 less, that may be up to that seller's budget where they made concessions for that already.
Yes.
That's good. That's a great question. Another one said, when homeowners are doing renovations to sell, do you, aside from bathrooms and kitchen, what other areas or rooms in the home outside of bathroom and kitchen that the appraiser will increase their valuation on when they're comparing that to another house? Great question, Cynthia.
That is a good question.
I would say like good backyards. Like backyard is one of those things where if you did as much work on the inside and you say, you know what, the heck with the inside, I did a lot, and you decide to invest into the exterior, the outside of the home. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by the outside, I talk about the backyard. Like you got people that may want to, extend their patio, make it covered, add some stones as a walking path. And, I think like it's hard for appraisers to get a number on a backyard. And I got people that's telling me, hey, I just put $20,000 in my backyard. Am I going to get it back? Eventually over time you will. Like it's hard to put a price tag on backyards, but I love it because you don't commonly see people do backyard oasis, but you tend to see people do the inside, but not the outside.
Yep. So
I do see that often a lot. And then one Portia mentioned too, how do you know what to sell the house at if you don't get an appraiser to give you the price of the home? So Lauren, that's your question, right? How do you get basically how do you sell a house if you don't get an appraisal? So that's where you have this market analysis. And can you tell people what you use that the appraisers use as well?
So we use a CMA, comparative market analysis. Basically, we're taking homes that are within the same, like I would say, within a mile radius of the home that you're going to sell. And we compare apples to apples. So we look at things like the square footage of the homes in the area. We look at how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms. We look at how old the home is or when it was built. We look at where the property sits. Is it on a corner lot? Is it on a regular lot? We take a lot of different variables into consideration when we're making the price of a home or when we're trying to put a price on a home. And so we use the homes around the subject home to make a determination on what the price of that home will be. So we always try to compare as closely as possible before we put the price on the home. So again, we're looking at making sure the homes have the same amount of rooms, same amount of bathrooms. If they're 1-story or 2-story, we look at the square footage of the home, when the homes were built, and if they're a corner lot or not. So we use all of that to determine what the price point will be for the home. And
So
then
that's what you're hiring you for, right?
Right.
Because you have the data, you have, just like an appraiser does, they have sold, they can look and see what a house sold for, so can you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, sellers, they don't know what a house has sold for, because only you have the system. You're a real estate agent, which gave you access to the database to look at those homes that have recently sold within that timeline, which is crucial in your decision making.
Yes. And I will say that so for instance, you have like your Zillow out there or your realtor.com, which tries to give you an idea of what the house may be sold for. But to get the most up to date, the best information it really is you're going to get from a real estate agent, because they're going to have the information on when it was sold, how long it was on the market, how much it was sold for, if they reduced the price, if they went up on the price. Your places like Zillow and such are not going to have that type of information. So it's best to get a realtor, because we have access to that information, and we can tell you exactly how your house should be priced compared to the other homes in the area and how those other homes sold.
Right. And get a real estate agent that has experience with evaluating homes and that have, listed a home before, so they can do their applicability of judgment on that particular property. But so not only do you do that on the selling side though, but if there's a pre-existing home out on the market, a buyer may want to know the comparables of other homes that are just like the home they purchasing,
Mm-hmm.
so they can know if they're going to be much further away. And again, you never know the end result of the appraisal until you actually get it done. But you have to know if you're going to be a little bit closer, maybe far apart from what an appraisal could come up with for that valuation of the home.
Absolutely.
That's good. That's good. So hopefully we answered the question for you on that. I think you just you have to hire the right agent with the access. Some agents don't even know what to do with the systems, right?
Right.
But you have to have the right agent that knows what to do with the system in order for you to feel comfortable about making sure that you're going to get the right professional on your house. So that's very good.
Mm-hmm.
So I love the way you said it. So what actually sets you apart from other real estate agents, which is what's important from what I just, based on what I just mentioned, what sets you apart?
I would say number one, my transferable skills, definitely for me, sales and marketing space, and also in the real estate space, a lot of those skills are transferable. I think I'm able to resonate with a lot of my clients very well. I think it's important to be able to make a connection with your clients, that you develop trust, credibility. And I think that's very crucial, especially when you're trying to make a big purchase like a home or trying to sell your home. It's a big investment. Just my just skills and my positivity. I just think I have all of that to my advantage, and my network of people. Like, I feel like my sphere of folks are amazing. And I think that all helps me when I'm, getting my clients, and it sets me apart from my other real estate agents that I know of. So
that's good. That's good. So you really unpacking a lot there, right? because at the end of the day, people supposed to just say, hey, I'm going to hire Lauren, and really trust the process from there. So that's what you're getting out of you. So I love that. So, as we wrap up everything, I know we talked about a lot. Oh, Cynthia just mentioned about, are there many multifamily units in DFW area, or mainly just single family? There's a ton of single family properties and low inventory of multifamily. And if it is multifamily, you're going to be paying a premium, for it, because, listen, you may get 300 per unit of a duplex or more, and you're just looking at 300 times 2 or 300 times 3. But I think with multifamily, it's all about how much do you want to spend versus, can I purchase a whole multifamily unit for a particular price?
Yeah, and I think that question, Cynthia, so Cynthia's from up north, and as I am too. And so up north, we have a lot of like multi-units, like 4 units, duplexes. We do not see a lot of that down here in Texas at all. So there's a lot of my friends that are from up north will ask about, multi units, and I haven't seen a lot here in Dallas. We do have some, but just it's not as prevalent down here as it is up north, with having like a 4 unit, a 8 unit duplexes. So I think to answer your question, Cynthia, is we do have some in Dallas, but it's not as much as we do up north. It's more prevalent up north.
Man, it sounds like we wish we had more multifamily access.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody would love that, because, if you're on these rooms and you hear people talk about, buy one, live in one, rent the other, and, all this stuff. I mean, we wish we can tell people, hey, that's the norm. But in Texas, man, it is trouble to be able to find something like that.
Yes. And these investors are coming up quick, guys.
They are. Yeah. So I would end with this. So listen, so what can clients expect from you as their real estate agent?
Number one, you're going to get trust, commitments, and communication. I like to focus on trust, commitment, communication, because I think those are all very important. Passion as well. I'm really serious about my real estate endeavors, and I really enjoy making a connection with my clients and helping them through this process. So you get my full undivided attention when it comes to this, and making sure I'm communicating to my clients every step of the way, because I think the best type of client is an informed client. So making sure they're well aware of the process and each step that we're taking along the way, so they're secure and happy and excited and knowledgeable about their process and about their journey to home buying or home selling.
That's good. That's good. I love it. I don't want to brush past this. Victoria mentioned, did you start off knowing a niche you were going into the focus on as a new real estate agent? She said that she've heard that agents that, I've heard of agents starting and not being successful as new agents. So she want to know, was there a niche that you sort of went out on in order to basically gain this Rookie of the Year 2020? You know what I mean?
Actually, quite the opposite. I didn't. I was like, let me come in as a real estate agent and help everybody. I didn't care who it is. Let me just help everybody. So I was just helping buyers, sellers, leasers, everything I was trying to get my hands on, because I just wanted that experience and that background. I feel like I didn't want to be picky about my niche or who I wanted to start with, because I still have so much knowledge to learn and so much experience to gain. I just wanted to get my hand in every single pot that I could, so that I can get a little bit of perspective here, experience. And as I get more mature in this real estate journey, then I think I can start to, narrow my focus, if I choose to do so, narrow my focus and have a niche market that I want to stick to, or niche group of people, or whatever the case is. But for now, I'm still building my clientele base. So I just want to make sure that I'm not leaving anybody out and get the experience in all the different areas.
That's good. That's good. So, I had the pleasure to go with you on an appointment for you, getting ready to sell a client's house. And when we talk about niche, we're looking at, hey, I'm working with, first time buyers, people that are buying for the second time. And then you unpacking now I'm trying to sell a house. And so you really, if you want to be well-rounded in this industry, you know, sometimes you shy away from a niche, but like you said, you want to be able to gain the experience from all sides.
Yeah.
And so I think that's very important. And I think you and I, we went on several appointments for people that are selling their homes. And obviously you've gained a lot, you know, being in that room, in that setting.
Yes.
And you've seen the success behind selling a house for top dollar over asking, and different situations that you've been a part of for people that want to sell their house and what's required in order to sell it for top dollar. So it's almost like having a seat at the table. Like I want to have a seat at the table of your first time journey, your second time journey, selling the house. I want to just have a seat at the table. I want to eat too, you know?
Right. Because we all can eat.
Yeah, we all can eat. And that's why hiring a good professional is very key. Someone that is basically unselfish. They're patient. They demonstrate empathy and really walk into a property like it's theirs and really catering to that client like that's family. Because at the end of the day, that is family. Like this is not a one time I'm going to see you and then the next time, you know, I don't know you anymore. Like we're going to be staying in contact with you, building that relationship. Hey, come to the client appreciation events once we get off of the COVID and everything like that. I want to see you again. We're going to toast up. And I mean, you know, that's that feeling that you get when you know that person working with the right real estate professional.
Yes. And you're part of their family.
It's family. Yep. That's good. So we appreciate everyone that came and joined on here. Great questions to see and get answered. I'm excited to be talking with the 2020 Rookie of the Year, Lauren Logan. It's no secret that what you have heard right now is the reason why that success is carrying her forward. And I'm sure that everyone, when you're thinking about who to send a real estate, a person that needs real estate assistance to, or someone that is thinking about even becoming a real estate professional, you know, when we think about, you know, what areas of real estate, sort of information I need to know, I need to come to Lauren Logan because the solution exists with her. And real estate really starts with Lauren Logan at the end of the day, because your resource, your network, everything that you came into this industry with, a lot of people can gain from that.
Absolutely.
So what's our closing remarks here, Lauren, that you want to share for everyone? How can they get in contact with you if they already do now? I know we're going to have your information on this on here once we get this video out, but where can people know how to get in contact with you right now, because your phone should be blowing up?
It is. It is. But you can reach me. My phone number is 469-726-9680, or you can email me at lauren@inkrealtygroup.com. And I also have a website. It's actually www.loganrealtygroup.com. So you can hit me up in all those three places.
Love it. Hey, everyone, give Lauren.
Thank y'all so much.
Give her your peoples. That's how we become successful, working with, you know, family and friends and referring people out. And really that's where it starts. More people saying, thank you for giving me the opportunity to work with Lauren. Now they're passing you around so everyone can be a part of that journey that they were part of. And this is how we build testimony. So guys, this is a serious real estate professional right here. She doesn't take the industry lightly, as you heard on here. So thank you again for being a part of this. And Lauren, congratulations on everything. 2021 has a lot in store for you. I can't wait to see all this unfold. So I appreciate you allowing me and everyone else to share this time with you. And thank you very much for being part.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, y'all. And I appreciate everybody for being on here and supporting. So thank you so much.
Good deal. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Until we connect again, look out for another session. Talk to you later.
Thank you, guys.